I was unhappily surprised to find when I got home that I didn't get any pictures of the inside of the Eisenhower Library, or Library and Museum. I can't figure that one out. I hope they're not mixed up with some of the other pictures. But I did get several shots inside the house. I got in there, and although the flash pictures were not allowed, I was able to take quite a few available light pictures. Some of them came out okay, and some of them didn't. This was a flash picture, which I wasn't supposed to take, and it was done by accident. And guests were unable to get upstairs, so there were no pictures taken upstairs. It's all ground floor. There's some pictures of some pictures that were supposed to be upstairs. And there's a church close by to the building and the Abilene train station. My next stop was Harry Truman. Very beautiful campus. Wonderful work inside. I don't know what all these things are. That's a mock-up of the Oval Office, and this is an actual picture of his actual office in the library itself. He spent a lot of time there before he died. This is the limousine from the White House and the car from home. This is something from the First World War. And that is the original of that piece of art, too. Model of the house. And this is on the inside of the grounds. After entering the lobby of the museum, you get to go through the museum and then out in the lawn and back. And where the red flowers are, that's where all three of them are buried. Harry Truman and Bess Truman and their daughter Margaret. President Hoover was a mining engineer. He was a Quaker. He was raised in Oregon. He did not believe in a powerful government, and he died at the age of 90. His museum is small, not a lot there, but it shows a touch of his life. He's the only president, or only person I know of ever go fishing with a necktie on. And that most of the pictures were taken inside the house. The museum was very small. That one picture I showed you of that plaque hanging on the wall, it was hanging crooked. And I reported it. And the people didn't believe me. They came and looked at it. And they said, yes, it is crooked. It's been there for years. Nobody ever complained about it. These are pictures around town. This is all within a couple hundred yards of the library. These are the homes that were in that same neighborhood. His father was a blacksmith, and I showed you the pictures of the blacksmith shop a few minutes ago. This is the Quaker Church, and before that I think there were pictures of the one-room schoolhouse. Gerald R. Ford, he was born Leslie Lynch King, Jr. And later on his mother married Gerald Rudolph Ford, and President Ford changed his name at the age of 22 to Ford. He was the most valuable player at Michigan, University of Michigan. He decided against pro football and went into law, got his degree at Yale. World War II in the Navy. Betty Ford was a model and a dancer. These are various and sundry pictures of the museum and surrounding grounds. It's the backyard, and then looking back at the museum itself. And these pictures of the Kennedy Library in Boston will be taken in the sequence, will be shown in the sequence that I took them. And the previous shot was of the Massachusetts State Archives building that's just across the parking lot from the actual Kennedy Library. These pictures were all taken early morning before the library opened, and you see the sun coming up, long shadows in the early morning. And I don't know if this belongs on the archives property or the library property, but I think it's part of the Massachusetts Archives building right here. And then we look back across the parking lot at the library itself. And this is the first picture inside the lobby of the Kennedy Library and Museum. And this is looking down on his boat from the inside of the library building. Hyde Park is very interesting. These are all the new modern buildings, and we'll go into the original home in a little while. This is the lobby of the new library. Roosevelt never walked after about the age of 25. When I was growing up as a child, I never knew that he couldn't walk. This is the house when he first became president, and this is what it looks like today. He had polio, that's why he wasn't able to walk. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. He married his second cousin, and he was elected 3 times. This is inside the park, inside the home itself, the Roosevelt home at Hyde Park. All of this had to be done with available light. They didn't appreciate flash bulbs. Some of them came out pretty good, and others not so hot. That's the only telephone they had in the house, back in a little cubby hole all by itself. I think this place had 6 or 7 bedrooms. Actually had a bathtub too. And that's used to overlook the river, but of course trees have grown up now. But that's the back of the house. And that's Roosevelt on the left and Churchill on the right. And there's the tomb where Roosevelt lies forever. My visit to Mount Vernon was very interesting. There's George and Martha and kids out there in the lobby greeting everybody as they walk in. It was interesting because no cameras were allowed inside the home. The museum was very interesting. But Mount Vernon, the home itself, is what I was most interested in. That's the main entrance to the home. The house back there, way in back. That's the outhouse called the Necessary. And the building is not made of stone like you would think. It's made of wood, and a glue surface was put on the wood, and then he sprayed it with sand to make it look like it's a stone house, but it's all wood. I was standing behind the director when I took that picture. But this is the way Mount Vernon looked when George Washington lived there. That's the kitchen. The kitchen is not part of the house. It's in a separate building just next to the house. And the cellar. Buildings where all the workmen lived. This is actually a working farm even now. That's the tomb where the people died and the bodies were put. They've since shut that one down, closed it off, and moved the bodies to different locations. Got a lot of pigs, a lot of hogs there. I really like the campus of the Jimmy Carter Library. It's like it's built into the side of the hill, but actually sitting on top of the hill. It's a lot larger than it looks because it's hidden, so well hidden by all of the foliage. I was there before it opened. I walked around the campus, took a lot of pictures outside before ever getting inside. This is the lobby. feel like it has some repeats there. There's a mock-up of the Oval Office as it looked when he was president. I found this to be interesting. Take a long look at his right hand, and then I'll get up closer and take another picture. And there's the right hand again. Hardly make it out. I spent all the time in front of that picture. That was interesting. Here's the air view of the museum. You can see how it's sort of buried in the side of the mountain. It's really, really well done. I walked through the library and out the back door and took some more pictures of what I'd seen earlier in the day. I was pleased with the Clinton Library. I thought it was very well done. I wasn't too pleased with this bridge right out one end of the building going across that muddy river, but what are you going to do? The lobby was beautiful, clean, uncluttered, very modern. That's a mock-up of the Oval Office when he was president. Some of the clothes that Hillary wore. And these are pictures looking out from inside the building. One thing I found interesting was that the tourist shop was not in the library itself. It was 2 or 3 blocks away. I never went there. And Bush 43 in Dallas. Beautiful architecture, great work. Nice lobby. And not at all crowded. And the mock-up again. I don't know what the big lion represents, but he was in there. And this is the Bush 41 Library in College Station, Texas. I went way out of my way to get there. After I arrived, I looked at my map and realized that I could have saved myself an awful lot of time and money by taking a different freeway, but anyway, I got there early in the morning. So I walked around the campus and took all of my outside pictures before they even opened the doors. So that's the lake on the back side of the campus. Here's the horseshoe pitching pit. And this is looking back from across the lake. And this is the entrance to the internment area, where they will be buried one day. Daughter Robin is already buried there. And that's the lobby. Bush 41 lobby. Full-size mock-up of his airplane. I think that's the one he crashed. There's a picture of his Studebaker. And again, the Oval Office. And I think that's his library office. And there's a piece of the Berlin Wall. This is not a fishing boat. It goes like the Dickens, I guess. And it was just a short drive to Austin to this 6-story building with no windows. Very nice campus. And the lobby. Gift shop in the background. Second floor. The statue of Lyndon outside. And I think that's Lady Bird's office in the library. There's a doggy sleep under the desk. And then after a long, long drive, I ended up in Yorba Linda, California, and took pictures of Mr. Nixon's library. Again, nobody around. It's early in the day. The library is on the same property as the home. And it's the library and the lobby of the library. These are all life-size figures of leaders of his time. A large meeting room. One end to the left, the other end to the right. Depicts his meeting in China. Very pretty campus. There are their burial places. And a couple of hours later, I found myself in Simi Valley, way outside Los Angeles. Beautiful country. I love that Southern California countryside. I see those cars lined up on that highway. We had to park down there. I walked about a half a mile to get to the library because the parking lot was full. took a few pictures of the campus before going inside. There wasn't an awful lot to take of the outside itself. This was the most crowded of all of the libraries I visited. It's probably just the perfect day of the week for such a thing. There's the mock-up again of the Oval Office. There's a get-up that Nancy wore just to get back at the reporters who didn't like the way she dressed. And the Berlin Wall. And he had a real memorial for Lincoln too. There's several rooms set aside for Lincoln remembrances. Not a word. And I think that's the bed that he died on, that Lincoln died on. And there's just next door to the lobby, you'll see Air Force One. That's a full-sized airplane. That is the actual airplane itself. It's fantastic the way that building was built around that airplane. It was fantastic the way they got that airplane way out of town like that, up on top of that mountain. Very impressive. These people are lined up to take tours through the airplane. I didn't do that. They wanted $10 and stand in line 3 hours. I wasn't interested. See the people lined up back there underneath the airplane. Yep, you can see forever there from that point. Well, I hope you all get to make this trip someday. 10,000 miles. Thanks a lot, folks. I appreciate it.